It's round one for 2025 of the Improved Production New South Wales Championship here at One Raceway in Goulburn. Some of the fastest races in improved production history are back for this year, including our multiple-time champion, Kurt McCreadie. Let's get straight to the action with race one. A huge start there. Mick Hazelton returning to the category in the RX-7, ripping away. Speaking of quick starts, Scott Tutton returning to the category straight past Aaron Giantini in the car that he shares with his brother and is the defending under 2 litre champion. Fast Civics everywhere. That's Mike Fitzgerald right down the middle past Matthew Lamore in the Volvo wagon, ranging up on the back. I think that's Greg Young making his return as well to the category. Huge field here at One Raceway for round one of the series as the field streams up the hill. Low grip surface as the track beds in. Hazelton, doesn't matter to him, way out in front of our former champion. Big slide down the outside there, all the way down. Matthew Wildridge making the Commodore of Nigel Williams sit up and take notice as they come around the back of the track. Back on board now with Giantini. He's lining up Tutton, and that is our defending over 2 litre champion, Joey Lenthal in the BMW. As they round this new bottom section, there's about 18 lines through turn 10 these days here at One Raceway. Hazelton blazing ahead of McCreadie there, and that's Ryan Jagger in the second of the under 2 litre cars. Of course, McCreadie's car is under 2 litre as well, and our defending national champion. On board now, Matt Burks in the mighty carburetted, if you don't mind, Toyota Corolla, chasing Jagger up the hill. This track is where these smaller cars will shine. Front wheel drive, not a real problem out here, but all wheel drive versus rear wheel drive. Lenthal out in the dirt, there's no grip there, hangs onto it. Tutton makes him pay though. And now Giantini, who will not give up, like a terrier at your heels, rounding up our over 2 litre champion. Hazelton easing that lead out away from McCreadie. Jagger holding third, but looks like young Burks is lining him up for that position. Look at that mid-pack battle. That is unreal. All-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive, front-wheel drive, all the cylinders you want, turbo, non-turbo. IPRA New South Wales is going off. Giantini now using that front bum dragon effort there, but big power 3 litre 6-cylinder engine under the bonnet of the BMW makes the little 4-cylinder pay down the straights. Jagger and Burks now, I think this fight will go all weekend, evenly matched, both brilliant drivers. Burks really getting on form now with his car. Steve Engle coming into the frame. You can see how the Commodores and the Hondas are playing in the same space. A great equaliser, One Raceway. Big fat pack here. Greg Young being chased hard by Craig Wildridge. May and Reddy on board with the Midas BMW. Underneath, Todd Herring in the Pulsar, who's an invited category, but Todd's not laying down at all around the outside. Big wiggle on the stick there from May and Reddy, but he holds it together. Look at the wheel work from Giantini as he slides underneath Lenthal. Bit of a look over the shoulder, and the two live to fight another day. Look at that, Timmy Molesworth rounds up on the inside of Matt Lamore. Craig Wildridge outside as well. Tim Molesworth doing the business. Side by side, 2 by 2. This field is awesome. We're going to have an awesome weekend of racing here at One Raceway. Massive thanks to our sponsor groups as well. Viola Private Wealth, Ravenol Australia, CTL Crisis Transport and Logistics, V-Sport, Midas, JLM and Competition Products. Big move on the inside there. Giantini full send on the car of Ben Algie there. Great to see Ben back as well. Struggled at the back end of the last season, but he's back in full fighting form for 2025. Speaking of fighting, Giantini is there again. Scott Tutton, one of the wilier veterans of our category, let's say, one of the young guns, right on his heels. Just doesn't know when to give up, but never lays paint on anyone. Does a lot of racing, and it really shows. Again, he's going to show the inside. Use the front wheel drive to his advantage and blast out the other side. Here we go, almost 3 wide into the turn 1 complex. Outside, Absolutely nose to tail battling the two Commodores, the rear wheel drive Classic Escort and the front wheel drive Celica. A mighty win though to Mick Hazelton first place, Kurt McCready in second, and Ryan Jagger a brilliant third spot. On board with Giantini, race 2. The clouds have come over One Raceway, but it's dry so far. Steve Engel uses the all-wheel drive advantage of his Evo to full effect right around the outside of Ryan Jagger at turn 1. On board with May and Reddy in the Midas BMW. Look at that traffic jam through turn 2 up the hill here at One Raceway. Todd Herring, the invited car there. Mark Hesman making a return as well. Young Travis Campbell, wow. They have had some troubles with that car, but looks like they're on top of it. Great work, team, to get that home-built car back on track. Campbell, youngest guy in the field, 15 years of age, making his way in the motorsport world, doing a great job. Speaking of great jobs, Burks lining up the over 2 litre car in his under Corolla. Absolute weapon, this thing. Some old school technology mixed with new school brilliant driving. They come through the fishhook. All redone here at One Raceway, but with the IPRA New South Wales mix of cars, it makes for some fantastic racing. Campbell now on board. Todd Herring in front. Tim Walsworth just ahead of that. Look at the move. Big power from that K24 as he surges down the straight. Lamore now in the Volvo on the back of Mike Fitzgerald. Is he going to show the nose on the inside? You bet he is. Look at that, straight down the inside. Brilliant move there, well executed. And he's lining up the Subaru there. Engel and Jagger fighting ahead there with Burks in the rear view mirror looking to see if there's an advantage. Look at the wheel work on that little car. He has got that set up to turn and burn, freewheeling through every single corner. Jagger, smooth and thoughtful as always, lines up. He's just tipped it a little bit wide. Burks will make him pay for that little indiscretion. Jagger, Burks, side by side as they were in race 2, the same all the way through. Burks just got the advantage there. I think Jagger's not going to give it up easily though. As we go back to the leading pack, Hazelton out front with Kurt McCready hard on his heels. Drops a wheel off in the dirt there, you see. The silencer on the McCready car goes a little bit wide. Engel going to follow him off. Burke is going to make them all pay. Look at that move. Unreal. Absolutely stone cold straight through to second position. Brilliant work from Matthew Burks. Back on board now with Giantini. He's watching it all unfold. These guys are slowing each other down and letting him into the fight. Jagger now on the inside of McCready, our defending national champion, getting it from all sides. This is just brilliant racing for race 2 of Improved Production, New South Wales. Giantini, a little glance over at Ryan Jagger as they steam into turn 1. Absolutely brilliant stuff. And it looks like is that a bumper bar? That looks like an Evo bumper bar. I'm going to guess that's Scott Tutton. There's a little fuss off the line. And it looks like we'll go yellow flag. Oh, big move on that. As the yellow flags come out, the field slows down. We're going to go for a race restart. Big wiggle there. Kurt McCready all the way off the track. Giantini ranges up, lines him up, fires it down the inside, up the hill here. At One Raceway, they are still side by side. Giantini will prevail, or will he? No, McCready's saying, no, I'm not going to give you that, young man. Absolutely brilliant racing. Look at that, door handle to door handle. No paint exchange. You've got to love Improved Production New South Wales. Back on board now with May and Reddy as he lines up the field. It's like a traffic jam down George Street. Unbelievable racing here. They're all into it. That's the president, Mark Lamore, in his Renault alongside Molesworth, lining up on the back of Craig Wildridge. There's a Commodore in the mix. Timmy Molesworth decides to go hard left. Engel now on board. Chasing Matty Burks, drops it a little bit wide. Engel sniffs the opportunity. Burke says, no you don't, closes that door. There is about 8 lines through the final complex here at One Raceway, and Burks has obviously picked the fastest one. Don't forget, this is under 2 litre versus over 2 litre. Engel should have the horsepower, should have the grip. And Mick Hazelton will win his second race of the weekend from young Matthew Burks and Steve Engel in third place. On board with Joseph Lenthal, great start there. Look at the congestion as we come through to turn one. Giantini rounded up by the faster cars as we storm into turn one. Hazelton off the pole after 2 race wins so far this weekend. Wiggle on the back of the Lenthal car. Ben Algie in the mix as well, just squeezes past the Giantini Honda. Ryan Jagger after a DNF making his way through the back of the pack. That's Mark Esmond. They're going to round him up. Mayan Reddy, the Midas car, as we come through the pack on the back of Nigel Williams there. Big thanks, of course, to Viola Private Wealth, Ravenol Australia, Midas, CTL Crisis Transport and Logistics. As Kurt McCready runs it wide, massive oversteer moment from Lenthal, gathers it all up and they retain the form that they had, pulls a gear straight down the side, but he is slower on the exit, which means that Engel will move down the outside, but Lenthal has the inside line again. Engel running super wide, and that'll make him pay on the way up the hill. Huge thanks to JLM, of course, who sponsor Improved Production New South Wales as well as competition products, and of course our Yokohama Tyres, our AO50s that run dry and wet, and they are doing the business here today at One Raceway for round one. Burks on board now, chasing down the bumper barless Scott Tutton. Fell off in race 2, gave us a safety car, but doesn't affect the handling. But look at the move! Unreal, slides down the inside and passes Scott Tutton. Again, an inside move there. Oh, look how close this pair are getting, and not a mark on either car. Absolutely amazing racing from Lenthal and McCready. Oh, he should technically have the line there, but yes, a little bit of push, understeer, but he's not giving it up. Just fades there to let McCready come down the hill, or does he? Puts McCready slightly out of position. Brilliant racing from the pair of them. Giantini now on the back of Ben Algie. Just unreal. These guys are playing for absolute keeps, but not touching each other at all. Outside inside move, looks like Giantini's going to be awkwardly placed, but I don't think he's going to die wondering. Look at that, Algie knows he's got the inside run into the final complex, and Giantini plays it for keeps. Hazelton now being chased by Burks. Look at the oversteer on that. He's actually almost dropped it, and Burks will make him pay. Look at that, absolutely surging away. The first mistake we've seen all weekend from Hazelton, and Burks was there to pounce. Brilliant work there. On board now again with the JLM sponsored Joseph Lenthal. Beautiful sounding BMW, awesome sounding Honda. Oh, and Engel almost forced wide there. Algie sticking it out the inside and making that move work. And Giantini, will he slide it down the inside again? He's done it before and he's done it again. Look at that. Gives plenty of space on the outside of Algie. This is just incredible racing from everyone. Don't forget the Improved Production Australia field, including a whole bunch of guys from New South Wales, will be present at the Bathurst 6 hour at Easter time. Massive field, including a bunch of New South Wales runners as we go on board with Matthew Lamore. Down the inside of Todd Herring, side by side. Just a little kiss, but they make it through the other side. And of course, round 2 for IPRA New South Wales. We move back down to Winton, Victoria, as I'm distracted by this awesome battle between the two cars. Ben Algie, look at the speed on that car. Big move, hard under brakes, slides past Aaron Giantini in the 2-litre Honda. Wow, I'm just so captivated by this racing. It is unreal. Absolute playing for keeps. You'd think it was round 5 of 5, not round 1. Aaron slides again down the inside, tiny bobble, nothing from Algie, and Giantini makes him pay for it. Tutton now being rounded up by Joseph Lenthal, gives him the wave by maybe. Tutton's got a little bit of an issue in that car, sadly. Had a great return to form, and great to see him back in the field. Hopefully we'll see him down at Winton in a month or so. Aaron Giantini, look at that, under 2 litre versus over 2 litre. Big oversteer. I think Lenthal has got some handling issues there, but he's doing a great job handling those issues as they slide past El Presidente, Mark Lamore, maybe having some issues with his little Clio. Such a diversity of cars here as we roll on through. Brilliant racing there as we go to the end of the race. And that's a huge win to the under 2 litre car of Matthew Burks. Went away, got more than 11 seconds on the field from Mick Hazelton with a fine second. Kurt McCready home for third place.